ready for spring break? I believe I saw your teachers raise their hand first. Before we go on spring break, I'd like to invite you on a safari. It's a big safari deep into the jungle. And so if we're going into the jungle, there's no reception. So adults, if you're with me, please turn off your cell phones. If you're a younger Whitehurst student and you're going on safari, you've got to bring a trunk. A steamer trunk. I don't mean an elephant trunk, I mean like a trunk. And you've got to pack it. And what are you going to pack for our journey? Your imagination. Let me hear you say the word. Absolutely. Because we're going to have color and shapes. And the 5th grade Whitehurst is going to take us to the banks of the great, gray, green, greasy Limpopo River.
Oh, you? Bore me? Why, never. I find your tales to be quite entertaining. How about you, Nigel? Did you want to hear another one of Sir Brunion's tales of adventure?
Bully! I should say so, for they are ever so entertaining. Much more than Mr. Edgar Rice Burroughs' tales. Wouldn't you say, Lady Agnes? Was it in the Indian jungle, or was it on the African continents?
Does it really matter, Nigel? Go on, Rudy. I do so love your stories. The jungle. I'm sure it was full of excitement.
Indeed it was.
And I'm sure it was hot.
The jungle full of life. There was an elephant.
Not an ordinary elephant like you and me.
Did he just call you an elephant, Agnes?
Stick a crumpet in it, Nigel.
Heavens, no, because this elephant had no trunk. He only had a bulgy nose that he could wiggle around side to side, but he could not pick things up with it.
But what he lacked in nosing, he made all up with insatiable curiosity.
And that means he asked ever so many questions.
He asked his great aunt Dame Ostrich
Excuse me, Auntie, but I have a question. A question? Really? You? Oh my. Just what makes your tail feathers grow just so? And so, I'll answer not with words, but with a loud, hard spank.
On your bottom.
asked his very large and very broad aunt, Lady Hippopotamus.
Auntie Hippo? Yes? I have a question for very large and broad self. Large and broad self? If it's a question you have, just make sure it's a good one.
Really, Ellie? Just what is it?
It's on with your question. I have to take a bath. Just what makes your eyes so red? My eyes, red, and I'll answer not with words, but with a very large and loud spank on your bottom.
And still he was full of satiable curiosities.
And still he was full of questions.
For you see, a question is always good if it is well thought out.
We'll see, Nigel, we'll see.
He asked Lord Zebra, just then he saw an old friendly friend walking by, Sir Harry Baboon.
Excuse me, sir, but I have a question. What is it, Ellie? I was wondering, Sir Harry, just what makes you so Harry? Me, Harry? Why never. The answer is this. And instead of words, he was answered with a big, loud, and resounding spank on his bottom.
He asked Lord Zebra,
Sir Zebra, I have a question. A question? You? Imagine not another question. A question from that silly elephant. That's all he ever does. Ask questions. Where did you get your stripes?
Or perhaps the pajamas.
I'll answer that question with a large and loud and resounding and very, very hard spank on your bottom.
and every time he asked a question, his aunts and uncles answered with the same thing, spank
On his bottom. But I'm still full of questions.
It was one morning he asked the strangest and loudest question of all.
I have a question. It's a big one. I never asked this one before.
But I'm going to ask it now.
What does a crocodile eat for dinner? Well, no. Really? Hush. Some questions are not made to be asked. Some questions you don't want to know the answer. I just want the truth. My dear, dear child, you can't handle the truth.
And with that, he received the largest and the loudest spank
On his bottom.
If I were that elephant, I would sit down by myself to think.
We'll see, Nigel, I would too.
I still want to know the answer.
Just then in flew me, a wise Coca-Cola bear.
If you want that answer, you big, like, and curious thing, you must go to the bank of me.
Great,
and south.
Until finally he came upon the beautiful great, gray, green, greasy Limpopo River. Limpopo River. Thank you, Jeeves. That will be all.
Now you must understand that until that very week and day and hour and minute,
The elephant had never seen a crocodile and did not know what one looks like. Excuse me, please, but I have come a long way to ask a question of a crocodile.
Have you ever seen such a thing as a crocodile in these parts?
Little did he know that it was right then and right there. He was talking to the crocodile.
Right there on the shores of the beautiful, great, gray, green, greasy Limpopo River.
Limpopo!
He asked again.
Can you tell me where to find a crocodile in these parts?
Why would you want to find a crocodile, my sumptuous, delectable little friend?
Because I have a question to ask him. A question of the crocodile? You have come all this way to the banks of the beautiful great, gray, green, greasy Limpopo River?
Limpopo!
To ask the crocodile a question?
lean down so that I can whisper you the answer. You don't want all to hear.
So the elephant leaned down to hear the answer from his newfound friend. I think that on this day, crocodile eats elephant! My God, my nose, you're hurting me! Ouch! Ouch! Ow! Ouch! Hey! And the crocodile pulled hard, and pulled, and pulled, and pulled! And the elephant pulled in the other direction, and pulled, and pulled, and pulled! And they pulled all day and into the next, and some say they even pulled into next week. And just then, the elephant's nose stretched, and stretched, and stretched, until... Pop! Finally, the crocodile let go of the plug. You can get all the way down the beautiful, great, gray, green, greasy Limpopo River.
And the elephant waited for days for his nose to shrink, but shrink it never did.
For you can see, the crocodile had pulled the elephant's nose into the trunk that we see on all elephants today.
And so the elephant left the beautiful, great, gray, green, greasy Limpopo River and went north, south, east, and west, all the way home to his family. Frisking and whisking his trunk. When the elephant wanted fruit, he just picked it from high in the tree. When he wanted grass, he just picked it up. When the elephant wanted to let people know he was coming, he just used his new trunk. And on that very moment, on that very week, on that very moment, on that very day, on that very moment, on that very minute, on that very moment, on that very second, if any of his family asked a question, whether a large question or a very, very small question, where ouch, spank on their bottoms. Ask about things you've seen and heard. You must seek advice from the cola bird. With a mournful cry, he'll tell you to go to the banks of the river Limpopo. Limpopo, where that great, gray, green, greasy Limpopo. Limpopo, Limpopo.
That was very entertaining, Mr. Kipling.
Bolles!
I want to hear how the camel got his hump.
Oh my!
I would assume he got his hump the same way you got yours, Lady Anne.
That will be enough, Jeeves. The jungle, the jungle. Tell me another one, Rudy.